Alright guys, so today we're going to check out Razer's new wireless headset, the Blackshark V2 Pro Wireless. Now this is a pair that comes in retailing at $179, which I'm going to go ahead and say right off the bat that I think this is honestly one of the best wireless gaming headsets that you can buy in 2020. But the problem here is the $179 price tag on a Razer headset. And the reason I say that is most Razer headsets retail around $100. Now they do have the Nari Ultimate that comes in at $200, but those have haptic feedback, which is the bass that you can feel. And so it kind of has a feature that separates it from some of the others, where the Blackshark V2 Pro is relying solely on impressive audio, which I think these absolutely excel at. So we're going to check out some of the features, what it is you get inside the box, and why I think it's worth the $179 price tag. Now to start with, these are THX certified, so it does have the 7.1 surround sound, which I do want to say, just like with other headsets that have 7.1 surround sound, I think this is mainly a gimmick. Because in headsets you have two speakers that are trying to emulate you having 7 speakers and a subwoofer. So really all it's trying to do is imitate that sound, which in most cases is just adding a little bit of reverb to kind of give you the illusion there's a lot of depth. So most of the time I don't use this feature, so I'm going to review these based solely off using them in stereo mode. Now they do have 50mm drivers, and they're using what Razer calls their Triforce drivers, which is basically a single driver that's trying to emulate having 3 drivers. So one that's kind of handling bass, one that's handling your mids, and then one that's handling your treble. So it's trying to keep these from sounding muddy or congested and trying to give you the most out of each frequency. Now these do use Razer's Synapse software, which you will have to do on your PC or your Mac, although this headset is compatible with every console like your PS4, your Xbox, your Nintendo Switch, and also PC gaming as well. Now with Razer's software, what it does is it gives you some different EQ settings as far as your sound goes. It also gives you control over some different features with the mic as well. Now the design and the build of the headset itself, in my opinion, is very impressive. When you first look at these, they really do look like an aviation type headset. There's something about the hinges that are on here and then the little knob that just looks like you would find these on a pilot. Now, as far as the weight, they're one of the lightest headsets that I've tried, which really defeats the purpose of the thick padding that's on the top of the headband. I do like the fact that they've included that. It just makes it that much more comfortable. Same thing with the ear pads, because they're using memory foam in the ear pads, but they also have a fabric material that is very breathable. So if you're going to wear these for long periods of time, you really don't have to worry so much about sweating and them getting hot. Now, as far as the clamping force, I felt like they clamped just enough where I didn't feel like they were going to fall off, but they also were not uncomfortable. Now, as far as your controls, it's pretty simple. There's only one knob on the left-hand side, and that allows for your volume control. And then behind the left ear cup, you have your power button, and then you have your mic mute button. So everything right there is on the left-hand side, which makes it really easy and accessible. Now, if you are going to use the included 3.5mm cable, so if you do want to use these wired, that input is also on the left as well. Now, as far as what you're getting inside the box, they do include a little carrying pouch. Really, this isn't going to protect it from any kind of damage, but it will protect it from scratches. Now, also in the box, they do include a 2.4 gigahertz wireless dongle, and they've also included the 3.5mm cable, again, if you do want to use them wired, and they've also included a micro USB cable for charging, because the battery life you can actually get up to 24 hours on a single charge, which I think is very impressive. I think that's going to get most people through a week, but if you do game for longer sessions, it can easily get you through a few days. Now, also in the box, they've included the removable microphone. Now, I like the fact that they went this route instead of having a mic that you can't take off, because I really enjoyed these so much that I like to use them for music as well. So I didn't solely use this as a gaming headset, and I felt like this was a good all-around headset to use. And as far as the quality on the microphone, this is something I think Razer does a very good job with. It's what they call their hyper clear super cardioid mic. It's kind of a fancy name, but really it's a cardioid mic that's focusing more in on your voice, and if you're in a noisy environment, it's trying to block out some of that noise. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
Alright guys, so here is a mic test using the Blackshark V2 Pros. I think it does a very good job of representing what my voice sounds like. I even think it does a really good job of picking up bass tones, but this is what it would sound like while you're using it during gaming.
So now let's talk about the sound, because the sound, in my opinion, is what absolutely makes these worth it. And the big surprise here is, as good as the bass sounds and as punchy and as accurate as it sounds, it's not as overly done as it is in a lot of Razer headsets. You can tell that in this headset, their focus is on the mids and the highs, and that's important with gaming so that you're able to hear dialogue clearly, but also able to hear footsteps and the direction that they're coming in, which this headset absolutely nails. And another benefit to having sound like this is it sounds great with music as well. So no matter what genre you listen to, you're going to be able to hear a lot of detail, a lot of clarity. I felt like the bass was very punchy, but it was a lot more accurate than I expected out of a Razer headset. And then the treble is tuned in a way where there's so much clarity in these. Again, it's just a joy to use no matter what I was using them for. But the huge selling point on top of the actual sound is the sound stage and the sound imaging. They sound very open, and they do such a good job of picking apart where sounds are coming from, which obviously is important in a gaming headset. Now, as great as I think these are, I do have a couple of cons. One is I wish that you had the ability to switch through some different EQ settings on the headset itself without actually having to go through Razer software. And then my only other complaint really falls back on that micro USB cable. I know some people don't understand why I complain about that, but micro USB at this point just kind of seems dated, and I wish that Razer used something different. But outside of that, the Razer Blackshark V2 Pro Wireless is my top pick when it comes to wireless gaming headsets. Wireless gaming headsets I will pick any day over a pair wired just because of the convenience. I feel like the microphones can be just as good as a wired set, and I think Razer just nailed it with this pair. I think this is aimed more at people that don't care about having, overpowering bass, but likes to be able to use their gaming headset as their headphones for listening to music. And I think this is a great all-around package. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Razer Blackshark V2 Pro. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.